Welcome back to Southwest History, your go-to channel for uncovering the untold stories of the American Southwest. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating and transformative history of Los Angeles, a city that evolved from a small Spanish settlement to an industrial and cultural giant. From the rise of Route 66 to the early days of urban sprawl, we'll explore how the city grew and shaped the lives of its residents, the influence of the automobile, and the rise of iconic landmarks like Broadway Street and the Arroyo Seco Parkway. We'll also uncover the stories behind the city's infamous migration booms and how the streets of Los Angeles became the heart of America's film industry. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on more incredible historical stories on Southwest history. Let's get started. Los Angeles, the bustling city we know today, began as a humble settlement. Before the skyscrapers and bright lights, this land was home to indigenous tribes like the Tongva, Cahuilla, Kumeyaay, and Chumash. They were master boat builders, thriving along these shores. But the world they knew began to change in 1542, when Juan Cabrillo's ship arrived at present-day San Pedro. Welcomed by Tom Van Men, Cabrillo became the first European explorer to witness this land. Little did they know, his visit marked the start of a transformation that would shape the City of Angels. In 1781, a small group of 44 settlers, pobladores, arrived to establish El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora Reina de Los Angeles de la Porciuncula, or the town of Our Lady Queen of the Angels. These settlers came from diverse backgrounds, primarily of African and Indian descent, recruited from northern Mexico to solidify Spain's hold over Alta California. Despite its modest start as a cattle ranching hub, this settlement laid the foundation for what would grow into one of the world's greatest cities. When Spanish missionaries arrived in Southern California, they found a thriving Tongva population, 5,000 strong, living in harmony with the land in 31 villages. The missionaries sought to convert and civilize the Tongva, redirecting their sacred traditions into Roman Catholicism and agriculture. Though this transition destroyed much of their culture, the mission system employed them on vast farms and ranches. But when the missions were disbanded, the Tongva were left with fragmented communities and diminished resources. Today, their tribe endures, with a few thousand members striving to preserve their heritage. The discovery of gold in Placerita Canyon in 1842 sparked a small gold rush, setting the stage for Los Angeles's rise as a mining hub. But it was the Mexican-American War that truly reshaped the region. In 1846, the California Bear flag was raised, declaring independence from Mexico. After fierce battles, including skirmishes in Southern California, Lieutenant Colonel John C. Fremont secured Los Angeles, leading to the Treaty of Capitulation in 1847. By 1850, Los Angeles became an incorporated city, but its landowners faced new challenges, with many losing their ancestral lands to legal battles in U.S. courts. Resistance burned in the hearts of many Mexican residents as they faced the new Anglo dominance. In 1856, Juan Flores nearly ignited a Mexican revolt, a defiance that ended with his public execution before 3,000 onlookers in Los Angeles. Years later, Tiburcio Vázquez became a symbol of rebellion, his daring exploits immortalized among the Mexican people. Yet, his capture in West Hollywood led to a trial and execution, silencing one of the last great outlaws of the era. Their stories reflect a time of deep conflict and cultural upheaval in Los Angeles's early years. Tragedy struck in 1871 when a Tong war in Chinatown ended with the accidental death of a white man. The aftermath was catastrophic. 500 enraged mob members stormed Chinatown, killing 19 innocent men and boys and looting homes and businesses. This dark moment left scars, even as Los Angeles began its rise. By 1900, the city had grown from a small village of 5,000 to a bustling metropolis of over 100,000, driven by visionaries like Phineas Banning and Harrison Gray Otis. Their efforts to expand ports and railways would reshape Los Angeles into a modern city, challenging San Francisco's dominance. The clash between Los Angeles visionaries and Collis P. Huntington, the Southern Pacific Railroad tycoon, shaped the city's destiny. Huntington's ambitions to anchor the railroad at Santa Monica's Long Wharf were thwarted by determined locals led by Phineas Banning. Their victory came at a price, surrendering Banning's railroad to the Southern Pacific. By 1910, the San Pedro breakwater was complete, and Los Angeles used its political savvy to annex San Pedro and Wilmington, linking them to the city through a narrow corridor. This strategic maneuver cemented Los Angeles as a critical port city. Edward L. Doheny struck black gold in 1892, turning Los Angeles into an oil powerhouse. By 1923, this city of opportunity was producing a staggering quarter of the world's oil. But as Los Angeles grew, so did its thirst for water. The arid city, relying on the meager Los Angeles River, looked 250 miles northeast to the Owens Valley. Fed by Sierra Nevada snowmelt, the Owens River became the focus of an audacious plan to sustain Los Angeles's explosive expansion. Water and oil, the twin engines of prosperity, transformed a budding metropolis into a global powerhouse. In the early 1900s, a web of deception unraveled in Los Angeles's thirst for growth. Harrison Gray Otis, Harry Chandler, and William Mulholland orchestrated a master plan to secure water from the Owens Valley. With insider information from J.B. Lippincott, who worked both for the government and Los Angeles, they convinced Owens Valley farmers to relinquish water rights. Meanwhile, the city created an artificial drought, forcing residents to vote for $22.5 million in bonds to fund the longest aqueduct in the world. The audacious plan forever changed Los Angeles and the Owens Valley. On November 5, 1913, the dream of a growing metropolis came to life. After years of covert planning and bold manipulation, the Los Angeles Aqueduct opened. William Mulholland stood before a crowd, delivering just 5 words, "There it is. Take it." Those words marked a monumental achievement but also a legacy of controversy. The aqueduct brought life to Los Angeles, but it drained the Owens Valley, leaving a scar that would never heal. The price of progress had been paid, in full. Los Angeles remained a modest city until the late 19th century, confined to just 28 square miles. But by the 1900s, everything began to change. The city's first annexations, like Highland Park and Garvanza, were just the beginning. The opening of the Los Angeles Aqueduct gave the city access to abundant water, and Otis Chandler capitalized on this to expand the city further, annexing vast stretches of land. The Port of Los Angeles was approved, and by 1910, the city had grown to 90 square miles, adding Hollywood to its expanding urban reach. As the city spread, the film industry began to thrive, finding its home in Southern California. By the early 20th century, Hollywood became the birthplace of the motion picture industry. Driven by the region's sunny climate, open spaces, and lack of patent enforcement by Thomas Edison, filmmakers flocked to Los Angeles from the East Coast. In Southern California, they found the perfect conditions to film: natural sunlight, scenic backdrops, and the freedom to work outside of Edison's patent monopoly. By the time the 1910s rolled around, film studios were being built at a rapid pace, with Los Angeles becoming the undisputed home of cinema, changing the world forever. As Los Angeles expanded, it became a city designed around the automobile. The streetcar system was replaced by miles of freeways, reshaping the city's layout and society. The growth of Route 66 in 1926 symbolized this transformation, becoming a symbol of the city's ever-changing landscape. Then, during World War II, Los Angeles turned into a major center of aircraft production and wartime manufacturing. The city's population grew as thousands of African Americans and Southerners moved in to fill factory jobs, marking another pivotal chapter in the city's history. By 1950, Los Angeles had transformed into an industrial and financial giant. The city, driven by war production and migration, became a powerhouse in car manufacturing, tire production, and even furniture and clothing. It also solidified its position as the nation's capital for the motion picture, radio, and television industries. With booming construction and the rise of tract housing, the Federal Housing Administration fueled suburban growth, and the iconic urban sprawl of Los Angeles took shape. The San Fernando Valley, often called America's suburb, became a prime spot for development, and the city began stretching its limits, expanding not just towards the ocean, but eastward as well. Today, Los Angeles encompasses 469 square miles and spans 5 counties, an urban giant in every sense.